really big emphasis on continuing to improve my leadership ability, being that vocal voice out on the court, being someone that the guys can look to for advice either on the court, off the court, whatever that may be. And then for me, just continuing to build that confidence, to build that that drive to go out there and play like the player I know I can be and that I will be.
Has it been? Do you feel more comfortable now at this point? And was that a little bit of the first couple of years because you didn't get a ton of playing time? So was it just tough finding that comfort level that you're used to?
Yeah, I'd say there was definitely their ups and downs. I think as a shooter, it's really important to be out there and get, kind of feel for the game, not necessarily ease yourself into the game. But at the same time, shooting a shot on your first possession down is a little bit different than your third and fourth up and down. So I'm really looking forward to going out there and playing as that confident shooter and playing as that, playmaker and just doing whatever I can to help my team.
We'll go to Chris Solari next, followed by Kyle Austin.
See you, Foster. I guess kind of walk us through the day that you learned you were going to be a captain, and did you have any idea that it would come, and what was the emotion and moment like when you heard you were?
Yeah, so we did a vote as a team where we wanted to select guys, and the main emphasis was someone that's going to be dependable, someone that multiple guys, but we wanted our captains to be vocal leaders, to be charismatic, and just to go out there and bring it each and every day at practice. And I think the three guys that we chose, I think are going to do a great job bringing it each and every day and leading this team. But the day that I learned that I would be a captain, I think he announced it kind of at the end of practice. We had already known Josh. Josh was the first captain we had selected. As he's been through the trials and tribulations. He's done such a great job here throughout his whole career, and we're really lucky to have him back full go. And so that day that I learned, was kind of at the end of practice, and he brought everyone in, and there was a lot of smiles, a lot of congratulations. But at the end of the day, it was about bringing it that next day and starting to be the leader of that team.
As a follow, so much has been talked about in the last year about what you meant in terms of the leadership ability with Cassius going through his situation last year. I guess, how was that symbiotic the other way as well with him kind of bringing you along as a captain?
Yeah, I've had the privilege for 2 years now to be Cassius's roommate on the road, and all the traveling that we do and all the time that we've been able to spend together. We've become best friends from that standpoint. So it was a blessing to be able to learn from him each and every day at practice, as a player, as a leader, as a person. And then in the unfortunate circumstance that his family went through last year, the tragedy that our team kind of had to help him through. It was just important to be there for him on and off the court. There was going to be days where I had to help him out and pick up a couple extra reps in practice. There was days where he might not have fully had it, that I had to be that voice in his head, kind of just reminding him to keep pushing and things like that. So I think we did a great job of kind of helping each other and just being there for each other every day.
Go to Kyle Austin with Brendan Quinn on deck.
Hey, Foster. You talked about having the confidence on the offensive end. Want to ask a little bit about the defensive end, and what do you feel like you need to do to take the steps you want to on that side of the court this season?
Yeah, a big emphasis for me this year was just was really that work in the weight room. I wanted to get my weight to a point where I felt a little bit quicker while still maintaining my strength and building my strength. I feel like I've done that, and I think the biggest thing for me is to just go out there and even on the defensive end, to be confident, to be physical, and just to really establish my game early and build on it from there.
Brendan?
Hey, Foster. Obviously, the nature of college basketball. And, when guys don't get the playing time that they want in their early years, guys look at other options and things like that. And I just kind of wonder, you have the second half of your college career ahead of you. So, coming out of last year, I just kind of wonder what was going around your head in terms of your future. And, I'm sure you weren't blind to the speculation that was out there. So just, can you kind of address what you were thinking last spring and into the summer?
Yeah, for me, my mindset, never wavered. It never went to try to put the blame on someone else. For me, you know, it's about owning the position that I've been in, that I've put myself in, and then trying to improve that. And I think I've done a dang good job of that. I think each and every day you just got to have the mindset of continuing to get better, continuing to learn. You know, that's not something that, you know, I look back on and I regret. That's not something I look back on and, you know, I'm mad at anyone but myself. You know, I think it's up to me to own that and just build going forward.
So can you kind of talk about your, or I guess explain how your mindset would shift from the end of your high school career, right, Mr. Basketball, all this, to maybe reimagining yourself as a basketball player and what your role would be in a situation like this? Just was that hard in hindsight, and what's that kind of been like?
Yeah, you know, I think anytime you go from being the best player on your team, where you're gonna be the guy getting the most shots, the most looks, you're gonna be the guy with the ball in your hands the whole time, to a situation where, you know, I was an All-American's backup. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't the playing time I always hoped for. It wasn't anything like that. But at the same time, I think it's just having that mindset of, you know, just because I'm not getting the most shots doesn't mean I can't go out there and impact the game. Doesn't mean that I can't help our team win. And you know, I think going forward, it's really, you know, I'm still not going to be that ball dominant point guard. You know, I'm not going to be Cassius. But at the same time, just going out there and being a ball mover, helping my teammates get better. And, you know, I'll keep reiterating, doing whatever I can to help our team win, because that's the ultimate goal.
Thanks.
We'll go to Alexia Ayala from Focal Point.
Hi, yeah. So I have to ask, I've been keeping up with John Rothstein on Twitter, and he did mention that the current target date for your guys' first game invitational in Orlando. Can you give me any update on if you guys might know what your first game is going to look like?
That is something I'm not positive of. You know, I think we're looking forward to playing Duke in the Champions Classic. That's something that we're very excited for. I don't know if that's still the plan to be our first game or whatnot, but so I don't have a specific answer for you there.
Next up, Audrey Dahlgren, and then we may have time for one or two more after that.
Hey, Foster. Thanks for doing this. I want to ask you a little bit about your relationship with Coach Izzo and how it has blossomed over your time at Michigan State. Maybe how has it grown even too since the summer to now, in a sense of him appreciating kind of what you bring to the table and what you have to offer for Michigan State basketball?
Yeah, you know, I think it's been a relationship that, you know, like I said, has its up and downs. But at the same time, you know, I think what it comes down to is trust in one another. You know, I think there was a point sometime early in my sophomore year where I really had to bear down and think about, you know, I got to start spending more time building that relationship, building that trust. And you know, I think going through this summer, going through this early fall, being selected captain, things like that, you know, I think I've made the right steps to build that trust, to be that vocal point out there on the court. And just I think it comes with every day, you know, being dependable, being accountable each and every day to hold yourself to that standard. You know, he talks a lot about self-evaluating, and that's something you know, I think everyone can improve on, but that's something I've really been working on through this summer and this fall. And you know, it's been great to build the relationship that we do have, and looking forward to continuing that.
Thank you.
We'll go back to Brendan Quinn and then wrap it up with two more after that.
Foster, how would you kind of describe the point guard situation heading in now? You and Rocket, obviously. You know, what are you trying to kind of prove to maybe warrant as much time at that spot as possible? Almost kind of force maybe Tom's hand to play Rocket at the two a little bit.
I don't know if it's anything like that. I think naturally, you know, me and him are both very competitive people. So each and every day, you know, whether we're on the same team or the opposite teams, you know, I think everyone's going out there. You're trying to win your scrimmage. You're trying to win your defensive drill, whatever it may be. And I think for both Rocket and I, the biggest thing is learning how to get our other teammates involved, how to get our other teammates open shots. I think the look of me at point guard and Rocket at the two helps us both out. Whoever grabs the ball can bring it up the court, the other one run the lane. I think that offers us a lot of shooting and a lot of playmaking on the court. So for us, it's going to be competitive each and every day. There's no denying that, but at the same point, we're going to do whatever we think is going to help our team be the most successful.
Thanks, man.
Then last two for Foster will be from Matt Charbonneau, followed by Stephen Brooks.
Yeah, Foster, related to that schedule a little bit, most years you know that schedule the second you walk in the gym. And not that you spend the whole time preparing on those first couple opponents, but is it a little weird not really knowing when you're going to start, where you're going to start, who it's going to be against as you guys kind of get going these first few weeks?
Yeah, I think this whole thing's been kind of weird. And I'm sure you guys can appreciate that. I mean, I'm looking at you guys through a Zoom call. So just for us, I think it comes down to trying to prepare to make ourselves the best team that we can be. I think we've had a lot of focus on being dependable on and off the court, especially with the pandemic that's going on and whatnot. The off the court stuff matters just as much. We're seeing football players around the country test positive and they're out for 21 days in the Big Ten at least. So for us, it's a matter of holding each other accountable. It's a matter of having each other's back on and off the court, and just really doing everything we can as a team to stay together. Not so much focus on who we're playing, but focus on us as a team.
Last question will be from Stephen Brooks.
Hey, Foster, I appreciate you doing this, man. Just wanted to ask you, just sort of clarify, I mean, did you ever have any thoughts about transferring at the end of last year, or what were those conversations like? I think that's something Tom had mentioned when we spoke with him, that whether he brought it up or you brought it up, it was at least part of a discussion. Could you address that part of it, and whether that was ever any part of your thought process?
For me, that wasn't. You can speculate whatever. You can read Twitter. I choose not to. For us, it's about going into this season and building and looking to go win a championship. I came to Michigan State because I wanted to win. I wanted to be a part of a great program. And, this year I'm really looking forward to taking that step of, not only just being a part of it, but being an instrumental part.
Thank you.
Foster, thank you. Appreciate you coming down.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I think we're almost set with Josh. So we can go questions. Just hit me with questions through the chat, obviously. And we'll start up with Larry Lace from the Associated Press. Larry, hello. Larry, can you unmute yourself?
Let's try that again. Josh, good to see you, kind of.
What's up, Larry? How you doing, man?
I'm good, thank you. Can you share your emotions going into this season after all you've been through to, still be standing where you are and have a chance to have another senior season?
Oh, man, it's a lot of emotions, but I think the biggest thing would be that I'm very grateful just to have the opportunity again to play this game that I've been gifted with by God. So, just to be able to be back out there with my teammates. Obviously, it's a process that I have to get adjusted to because I haven't played in such a long time. But, I'm just thankful that I can get tired again on the court.
Next question is from Chris Solari, followed by Brendan Schlebeth.
You see it, Josh. Did I see a video the other day of you dunking off your left foot?
You probably did.
How is it feeling right now? I mean, if you had to give a percentage point of where you're at with the foot, where do you think it is? And is it about where or farther beyond, or where do you think you are right now?
I feel great. I think right now for me it's just, getting back into that process of playing, allowing my mind to catch up with my body. My skill is there, but it's still some things that I have to, get used to doing, and, just getting caught up with the pace of the game and so many other things that I didn't necessarily think about before I actually got on the court. And, the first practice, you can ask everybody. I was just kind of like, a little bit of everywhere, but because I was so excited to be out there. But I think for me right now, it's just getting used to that process and just taking my time each day.
Brendan Schlebeth.
Hey, Josh, I'm Brendan from WDBM Sports. Obviously, Coach Tom has called you the great unknown so far this season. With like a week or so of practice under your belt now, you guys have been able to play a little bit. Where do you personally see yourself contributing to this team this year?
Can you kind of repeat that again? You broke up a little as you were speaking.
Yeah, no worries. Like after a week of practice, where do you think you're going to contribute the best to the team this year?
What did he say?
Josh, did you get that?
I missed it again.
Hey, Brendan, I'll get it. He was asking after a week of practice where you kind of feel you are. Coaches kind of referred to you as the great unknown. Maybe after a little bit of practice, how do you feel and where do you see yourself?
I feel great. Like I said previously, I think it's just getting used to the process, of being out there. I haven't been out there, and the last time I played was December of 2018, if I'm not mistaken. It's 2020, so that's been a while. So just getting used to being on the court, and just getting into the flow of the game, and getting a good feel of the game. But physically, I feel great. Our trainer Nick Ritchie and our strength coach Marshall Rep, they've done an unbelievable job with just getting me, back stronger. And the coach, all the coaches have done a great job of just helping me, kind of be wise about the type of reps that I'm getting in practice, and just allowing me to just really take it slow, but at the same time be aggressive with it.
Well, next two questions, Stephen Brooks, followed by Kyle Austin.
Hey, Josh, good to see you, man. I wanted to ask you, the process of getting used to this team, because like you just mentioned, I don't know how many guys that were on the floor with you last time you played are even around anymore, maybe other than Aaron and, so many of the mainstays, I'm saying, from that time. A lot of those guys are gone now. What's it like coming back to a relatively new group around you for the most part? And just that process, like I said, of getting to know new teammates on your comeback. Yeah,
I mean, it's definitely an adjustment, but the good thing about it was that, a lot of the guys that I'm on the court with, I still, had a relationship with them, previously because of, me still being a part of the team and me, traveling with the team and me being at the game. So we still have that chemistry off the court, which helps it not be as bad on the court. It makes it easier to adjust to, because we have off the court chemistry. So it's been an adjustment, but at the same time, it hasn't been as bad.
Thank you.
Yep.
Go to Kyle Austin for the next one.
Hey, Josh, good to see you. Wanted to ask you a little bit about the point guard position there next to you. Obviously, you guys have had Cassius there for so long, and it's a big change this year. How is kind of your team and your offense different now with new guys in that spot, and what have you seen out of Rocket and Foster so far?
Definitely lost a big piece with Cassius. Unbelievable player. But I think those guys, like you said, Foster and Rocket, they've been doing a great job with, getting adjusted to that position. And, Foster has done a great job of leading, and, Rocket has done a great job of running the team as well. So obviously, it's different because Cassius isn't there anymore, because he was a big part of our team. But, at the same time, those guys are ready for it. And, I think our coaching staff, they're doing a great job of getting them adjusted to that position.
Next two questions, we'll go to Matt Charbonneau, followed by Audrey Dahlgren.
Hey, Josh, I'm curious about the mental aspect of this. And you hear a lot of guys talk about who've had injuries when they come back, having that confidence in their mind of playing 100%, not worried about getting hurt again. And you've obviously had 2 surgeries. Is that in your mind at all? Or are you able to kind of, at least at this point, block that out and not have that be an issue right now?
Yeah, I think early, that was kind of in my mind, when I first got back out there. But I think now, falling down a little bit, getting bumped a little bit in practice, taking a few fouls, those things kind of got me adjusted as well. And then, like I said, I trust, first of all, I trust God. I understand that He has me back for a reason, and He wouldn't bring me this far to leave me. But also, I trust, the work I've done, with with our trainer Nick Ritchie. He's done a great job with me. Since the first time I had my first injury. He's been there, since day one. And so, we've been doing a great job of just getting in and making sure that I feel right, making sure that my body is, where it needs to be, all different type of mobility, exercises, scraping, and all different kind of things that has helped me have confidence, in my foot, and just not just in my foot, but in my body as well. So, yeah, so early, I kind of had that, there was that kind of that reservation, but at the same time, now I'm getting to the point to where I've moved past it, and now it's just time to play. I just have to get used to being out there again.
Did your teammates at all sense that too? Did they like take it easy on you, I guess? And was there a point where you had to say, cut it out, play like you would normally, not worry about it?
Well, I think it was a little bit of reservation there, but just me being me, I'm like, yo, let's play. I'm out here. I want you to play me like I'm out here. I'm supposed to be out here. So definitely was kind of some reservation from my teammates, but at the same time, with just kind of the way I play, I tried to just keep reminding them, hey man, look, if I'm out here, play me serious, because eventually I'm gonna have to do it. So.
Thanks, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Audrey?
Hi, Joshua. Obviously, hi. Obviously, it's a huge honor to be named captain. But for you, this is the third time in your career at Michigan State. Only 6 other people or players in the history of the program can say that. When you think of it at that magnitude, what does it mean to you from that standpoint? Because obviously being a captain isn't anything new, but to think of it in the history of the program, where you sit.
Yeah, I mean, I think first of all, being a captain, just in general, not just being a captain 3 years in a row, just being a captain in general here at Michigan State, it's an unbelievable, feat. And I think especially to be a part of the fraternity of captains that have came before me. You think about Mateen Cleaves, Magic Johnson, Travis Walton, my best friend Tum Tum Nairn. So, you think about all the captains that have came before me, and to be in that class is definitely, something that I don't take lightly. But at the same time, I'm just thankful that my teammates see me that way. And then, on top of me, being hurt 2 years in a row, and for me to be able to have this opportunity again for my teammates to see me as a leader, see me as a captain, it's ultimately at the end of the day, that's just, that's a sign of the grace of God. And, I'm just thankful that I can be a part of the team, and, I'm thankful that the guys see me as such.
We have time for a few more. We'll go to Paolo from the State News and then Chris Solari.
Josh, obviously you've been watching these guys develop. Who would you say has made the biggest jump from last year to this year, and who have you been most impressed with this far?
I think everybody has made great strides. You don't necessarily want to single out one person because I think that diminishes everybody's, work that they've put in the summer, or the little summer that we have had the opportunity to have. But I think one guy that's really, that has really been doing well is, I think, Gabe Brown. He's been as consistent, as can be, in terms of his defense, his shooting. And I think he may have grown a little bit, but I'm not necessarily sure. But I think, Gabe has, he's been great for us. He's been really consistent. So, and I look at a player who's made some great strides, I would say him, not diminishing everybody's else progression as well.
Thanks, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Solari.
You just talked about the special nature of being a captain. When you look at Foster, some of the things that he's gone through in the last couple of years, and just how he handled the situation with Cassius last year, what makes him a fit for you guys as a captain, and what leadership qualities does he bring?
Well, I think, when you look at how he handled the whole situation with not necessarily playing as much, that's a sign of selflessness. And I think as a captain, you have to have that. You have to be able to put the team first. You have to be able to put yourself second. In order to be a captain, you have to understand how to be a servant leader. And I think that's something that Foster embodies. And, even though he wasn't necessarily playing as much, the past few years, he never was not involved. He was always communicating with the team. He was always, talking to the team about certain things that he's seen, so he was a leader when he came here. It's just now it's time that people are actually seeing it. He's been elected to be a captain. And so, it's not nothing that I'm surprised about. I'm actually happy for him. And, I'm excited that, I get to be in the trio with him as a captain. So I'm definitely proud of him. And, I'm just thankful that he has the opportunity. And I know he's going to do a great job.
And then last two, we'll go to Stephen Brooks and then Brendan Quinn.
Josh, curious about anything, if at all, that you learned going through this sort of a second time in terms of working your way back and getting ready for a season. Second time around, any lessons or takeaways that you gathered that you think got you in better position this time?
I think the biggest thing I've learned is just trusting the process. I probably could tell you a bunch of different things that I learned, and we'll be here all day. But the biggest thing I learned is, just trusting the process and realizing that everybody has their own journey. And how you own that journey determines how well you are successful in the thing that you're doing. And so for me, I've been really learning the importance of trusting the process and just being able to be patient and have wisdom with the process, because sometimes it's certain things that I do in the court and I'm like, man, I could do that 2 years ago, and it's like, well, I have to remind myself of Josh, you haven't played in 2 years. The last time you practiced was 1.5 years ago. So, all those things are going to come, in timing. And so I think for me, the biggest thing I've learned, the biggest life lesson that I can take, outside of basketball is realizing that everything takes time. Everything is beautiful in its own time. And you just have to trust the process. And so if that's one thing that I could say that I've learned out of the many things, it would be that.
Thank you.
Last question from Brendan Quinn.
Hey, Josh. From another one on Foster, what's been the things that you've seen him do in practice that you haven't yet seen translate to the court that you want to see from him in maybe a larger role as a junior?
I think he's done a great job just with, one thing about Foster that he sees the floor really well and he's able to pick apart the game. I never really been around a point guard that can actually see the game as if he's on the outside looking in. Like Foster can make a play and he sees it as if, he's a coach on the bench watching the game. Not too many people can see the game in that way. And so I think as he continues to, to play, you will see how well of a decision maker he is, how well, he can make plays and how well he can get other people involved because he has an unbelievable IQ. And so I think, like I said, as he gets out there and plays, that's what you'll see.
Great. Thanks, man. Glad to see you healthy.
Good to see you. I like the beard, man.
Thank you. Now we're doing the important stuff.
Josh, thanks so much for taking the time. Everybody, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Good seeing you.
See you guys again.
Josh, take care, man.
All right, take care.
And Max, you have a nice beard too.
Max, you do look great.
You walk away.
I actually prefer his photo here that when he's not there.
Have you seen that full sized?
Yeah.
You got to get that blown up into a poster for him if he doesn't already have it.
It's incredible. See you, boys.
Yeah.
Guys.